If more than 20% of your daily calories come from ultra-processed foods, your brain could be declining 28% faster than someone who eats less of them. That's not my opinion. That's from a major peer-reviewed study that followed thousands of people for over 8 years. And before you say, well, Walter, I eat pretty healthy, hold on, because the average American gets 58% of their daily calories from ultra-processed foods. 58%. That means more than half of what most people eat every single day is the kind of food that's been linked to memory loss, cognitive decline, and even Alzheimer's disease. And I'm not talking about some exotic junk food you'd never touch. I'm talking about 7 foods that are probably sitting in your kitchen right now, foods you eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner without thinking twice. So today I'm going to show you exactly which 7 foods are doing the most damage to your brain after 60, what the science actually says, and most importantly, what to eat instead. And I promise, by the end of this video, you'll look at your fridge completely differently. Let's get into it. Food number 1. Processed deli meats. I'm talking about bologna, salami, packaged ham, those pre-sliced turkey and chicken cold cuts that come in plastic. Basically the stuff millions of seniors put on their sandwich every single day for lunch. Researchers at Virginia Tech tracked adults 55 and older for 7 years, and they found that people who ate at least 1 serving of ultra-processed meat per day had a 17% increase in cognitive problems. 17%. From 1 serving a day of something most people consider a normal lunch. And it wasn't just memory. They found that processed meats were specifically linked to faster decline in executive function, which is your brain's ability to plan, make decisions, and solve problems. That's the part of your brain you need to stay independent, manage your finances, and take care of yourself as you age. And deli meat is chipping away at it. Now here's what makes this tricky. Not all deli meat is created equal. There are some deli meats that are minimally processed and much healthier. So don't panic. I'll tell you exactly what to look for later in this video. Food number 2. Sugary sodas and diet sodas. This one is a double hit because most people think, well, I drink diet soda, so I'm fine. No, you're not fine. The same Virginia Tech study found that for each serving of soda consumed per day, there was a 6% increase in cognitive impairment. 6% per serving. So if you're drinking 2 or 3 sodas a day, and a lot of people are, you're stacking that risk on top of itself. And diet soda isn't the escape hatch people think it is. The artificial sweeteners in diet sodas have been linked to disruptions in your gut microbiome, which we now know has a direct connection to brain health. Your gut and your brain are in constant communication. It's called the gut-brain axis, and when you flood your gut with artificial chemicals, the messages get scrambled. The fix here is simple, and I know you've heard it before. Water. Plain water. If you need flavor, squeeze some lemon in it, add some berries, make it interesting. But get the soda out of your daily routine. Food number 3. Ultra-processed oils and spreads. This includes margarine, cheap vegetable oil spreads, those butter substitute tubs that have been marketed to seniors for decades as the heart-healthy option. Well, here's what the research actually shows. Greater intake of ultra-processed oils and spreads was associated with faster decline in both executive function and global cognition. That's right. The stuff some people switched to because they thought it was better for them is actually linked to faster brain decline. These products are loaded with highly refined industrial seed oils and additives that promote inflammation throughout your body, including your brain. Instead, use real olive oil, extra virgin if you can, or real butter in moderation. Your grandparents used real butter and real olive oil, and their brains were just fine. Food number 4, and this one shocks people, instant flavored oatmeal packets. Now I can already hear some of you saying, Walter, oatmeal is healthy. And you're right, real oatmeal is fantastic. But those little instant packets with flavors like maple brown sugar and cinnamon roll and peaches and cream, those are not real oatmeal. They're ultra-processed food products loaded with added sugars, artificial flavors, and preservatives. Some of those packets have more sugar per serving than a candy bar. And here's the problem. Diets high in added sugars disrupt your gut microbiome, promote systemic inflammation, and directly impair brain structure and function. That's not me guessing. That's the established scientific mechanism for how ultra-processed foods damage your brain. The swap is easy. Buy plain old-fashioned rolled oats or steel-cut oats. Cook them yourself and add your own fruit, a little honey, some nuts. It takes 5 extra minutes, and your brain will thank you for decades. Food number 5. Packaged breakfast cereals. I know, another breakfast item. But here's the thing. Breakfast is where most seniors load up on ultra-processed foods without even realizing it. Those colorful boxes with health claims on the front, heart-healthy, whole grain, fortified with vitamins. Flip them around and look at the ingredients list. You'll find added sugars, artificial colors, preservatives, and a list of ingredients longer than your arm. That's not breakfast. That's a chemistry experiment. And remember, the Framingham Heart Study, one of the longest-running studies in medical history, found that consumption of ultra-processed foods in middle age is linked to an increased risk of Alzheimer's disease. So if you've been eating this stuff for 20 or 30 years, the damage has been accumulating. But the good news is that making changes now can still slow things down significantly. Replace those boxed cereals with eggs, with real oatmeal, with Greek yogurt and berries. Your brain needs real fuel in the morning, not sugar disguised as breakfast. Food number 6. Frozen ready-to-eat meals. TV dinners. Microwave meals. Those frozen trays that promise a complete dinner in 4 minutes. I get it. They're convenient, especially when you're cooking for one or you're tired and don't feel like standing in the kitchen. But these meals are some of the most ultra-processed foods on the planet. They're packed with sodium, preservatives, refined carbohydrates, and industrial additives that your body was never designed to process. A study from Hebrew Senior Life, affiliated with Harvard Medical School, found that diets emphasizing whole and minimally processed foods support better mobility and strength in later life. So it's not just your brain. These frozen meals are also affecting your body's ability to move, stay strong, and maintain independence. I'm not saying you can never eat a frozen meal, but if it's your go-to dinner 3 or 4 nights a week, you're feeding your brain the wrong fuel. Try batch cooking on the weekend. Make a big pot of soup, a roasted chicken, some vegetables. Divide it up and freeze it yourself in portions. It's just as convenient, and your body and brain will know the difference. Food number 7. Sweet snacks and packaged confectionery. Packaged cookies, candy bars, those little individually wrapped cakes, the stuff that sits in the pantry and you grab a piece here and there throughout the day. A little treat here and there doesn't sound like a big deal, but when it becomes a daily habit, those added sugars and processed ingredients add up fast. Remember that 20% threshold from the study? If more than 20% of your calories come from ultra-processed foods, your brain declines 28% faster. Those little daily snacks can push you over that line without you even noticing. Swap them for a handful of nuts, some dark chocolate, real dark chocolate, not the sugary kind, a piece of fruit, or some cheese and crackers made with real ingredients. Now, let's talk about why these foods damage your brain, because understanding the mechanism helps you take this seriously. There are 3 main ways ultra-processed foods attack your brain. Number 1. They disrupt your gut microbiome. Your gut is filled with trillions of bacteria that directly communicate with your brain. Ultra-processed foods kill the good bacteria and feed the bad ones. Number 2. They promote systemic inflammation. When your body is constantly inflamed from processed ingredients, that inflammation reaches your brain, damages neurons, and accelerates cognitive decline. Number 3. They directly impair brain structure and function. The saturated fats and added sugars in these foods physically change how your brain operates at a cellular level. These aren't 3 separate problems. They're a chain reaction. Bad food leads to bad gut health. Bad gut health leads to inflammation. Inflammation leads to brain damage. It's a domino effect. But here's the good news. It works in reverse too. When you start eating whole, minimally processed foods, your gut heals, inflammation goes down, and your brain gets the nutrients it needs to function properly. So what should you eat instead? Let me give you a simple framework that anyone can follow. Researchers have found that people who follow the Mediterranean diet most closely have a significantly lower risk of developing Alzheimer's disease. There's also something called the MIND diet, which is basically a Mediterranean-style diet with extra focus on vegetables, nuts, berries, beans, whole grains, seafood, poultry, and olive oil. Studies found that cognitive decline was slowest in people who followed the MIND diet most closely. You don't have to follow these diets perfectly. Even small steps in that direction make a real difference. Cook at home more often, read your food labels, choose water over soda, use real olive oil instead of margarine, buy plain oats instead of flavored packets. And here's one thing the researchers specifically recommended. When it comes to deli meats, look for options that are minimally processed, without added nitrates, and without a long ingredient list. They do exist. You just have to read the label. One more thing that I think is really important. The research found that not all ultra-processed foods are equally harmful. Interestingly, ultra-processed dairy products and bread and pastries were not associated with cognitive decline in the studies. So this isn't about being perfect or never enjoying food again. It's about knowing which specific ultra-processed foods are the most dangerous and cutting those out first. Let's do a quick recap of the 7 foods to avoid or minimize. Number 1. Processed deli meats like bologna, salami, and packaged cold cuts. Number 2. Sugary sodas and diet sodas. Number 3. Ultra-processed oils and spreads like margarine. Number 4. Instant flavored oatmeal packets. Number 5. Packaged breakfast cereals loaded with sugar. Number 6. Frozen ready-to-eat TV dinners. Number 7. Sweet snacks and packaged cookies and candy. Your brain is the most important organ you have. It holds your memories, your personality, your independence. And what you put in your body 3 times a day either protects it or damages it. The science is clear, the changes are simple, and you can start today, right now, with the very next meal you eat. If this video helped you, hit that subscribe button, because every week I break down health topics for seniors in a way that's simple, honest, and actually useful. Share this with someone you love who's over 60. It might be the most important thing they watch this week. I'm Walter, and I'll see you in the next one.